Probably. Okay, so we're starting today in static back where we have, our legs up on a chair or a block. We need our, your little block or a pillow. I need to pin myself. We need our strap, maybe a small folded towel. Hold on, can you see me? Okay. So this is where we're starting today. Okay. So if you find that your head tips backwards, that is when you would use a small folded towel, unless you're really tipping back. That's what you would do. Otherwise, we want to be on the ground. We want to try and release next. I'm going to mute everyone. Palms up. So we're just taking a moment there to settle in. Okay. Mute. Okay. Got that done. Okay, so we're here. Just a few reminders. Nothing you do in the class should cause you any pain. That's number one. Number two, we're going to work on breathing here. And I just want to remind you that think of the center of your body as a canister or a cylinder. And when you inhale, you're going to let your belly rise, but also expand through your sides and your back. So the big thing to watch for is if when you inhale and you're going right up into your chest, then you really know you need to work on your breathing. So inhale, belly back and sides, pelvic floor relaxes, and then exhale it out. So let's get some breathing going here. And what I'd like you to do is on the end of your exhale, add in a contraction of your abdominals. So inhale, filling everything up, then exhale. At the end, tighten your abdominals. Arms are out to the side, palms up. And happy Sunday, happy Valentine's Day. Woo! Hopefully by the end of the class, I will be energized. Because right now, I am definitely a little tired. So the plan for today is, you guys keep breathing, is I want to do some usual, we're going to do some of our common things that we've done in this position, and then I want to come back to this to do something with the front of the hips, but I don't want to do it quite at the beginning. So you will keep your block or your chair not too far away, and then somewhere halfway we're going to bring it back. Okay, let's add some arms in today. Let's put our arms up in a goal post, like a football stadium goal post, up in the air, gentle fist, and we're just gonna let them drop back and forward. And again, when you do this, don't try and bend your wrist to touch the ground. If you touch the ground, great. If not, that's okay. And when you go forward, we don't want to lift our shoulders off the ground. Just go where you can go. Typically, you're not going to touch the ground going forward. Going backwards, if you have good shoulder motion, you'd be able to touch the floor with the back of your hands and the back of your forearms. But if you're a little tighter there, you may not be touching. So we're just going back and forth. Okay, let's go up to back to the neutral position, and let's do some shoulder blade squeezes. So right in the back, shoulder blades are just kind of gliding together and releasing. Gliding. I want you to be mindful that you're not thrusting your ribs or arching. Try to let that relax. Just let the motion come from your shoulder blades in the back. Again, when we're in this position, some people's backs are going to be touching the floor, and some people are still going to have an arch up off the floor. as we are in this position, that might neutralize a little bit more. Okay, so now we're gonna go into our pullovers. So we're gonna cycle through these again. So clasping hands like this. I'm admitting somebody. It's probably Carmen. Okay. Hi, Carmen. We are in static back, doing some arm motions. Okay, so pullovers. Clasp your hands, and you're going to go back and forward. Now again, this one, no shoulder pain, elbow straight. Relax up here. That's going to help you so you can clear your head. It does not matter if you go all the way to the ground, because what happens is sometimes people go to the ground and they're bending their elbows and they're losing the integrity of what we're trying to keep, which is the palms together and the elbows straight. So just go in the motion that you can do, keeping the palms together, the elbows straight. That just helps us direct which muscles are working, and that's why the specific details. And so we're going back and forth, and then we're going to begin cycling through. So I'm just going to check and make sure everything's okay. So you're going to go back to your arms here and in the goalpost position, and they're going to drop back and forward. I'm just checking things on the computer. I feel like it's possible. We lost, oh no, everybody's there. Okay. We are all good. Fantastic. Okay. So you're goalposting it, you are rotating. Now we're gonna stop and do some shoulder blade squeezes. So keeping the hands in neutral. And now we're just gliding our shoulder blades in the back. Just really getting our shoulders and our upper back into the right place. Our head, our neck muscles are settling. We're working on gravities, trying to even things out in our pelvis and our hips. So even though we're just lying here, things are happening in our body. Clasp your hands. Let's go back to pullovers. Keep your hands like this with the palms together. If you're struggling with that, you can try and go to this, but I do like the clasped hand if you can keep that and keep your elbows straight. Again, you're being very selective here, how far you go back. The idea is keep your elbows straight, palms together, no pain. So keep all of that in mind. Okay. Oh. So, I do have a post that I posted this week that was interesting. It was about base of support, and that means like when you're standing, how close are your feet together? And when I say hip width in our class, which is the center of hip width down, that is generally the proper base of support for people. That's like the neutral position. We're going back one more time. We're cycling through our arms, back into this goalpost position, rotating back and rotating forward. So with our base of support, what I see with clients is that sometimes people stand with their feet very close together, and sometimes they stand with their feet wider than hip width. And I have found that both of those seem to represent when somebody doesn't have good pelvic stability. So that's the, informational piece. So kind of get in touch with how you like to stand. And then I did put 2 exercises in there. We're going to go back to our squeezes. So go back to neutral. Squeeze your shoulder blades. You guys have done my class, we've done the exercises. It's the one pulling out with a strap. I did them in sitting, And then where you lift up one heel and you raise up the other leg up and down, waking up the front of your hip. So that was an outside of the hip and a front of the hip exercise. Those two are two common areas that need help if we are missing some stability. So that's what the video of the week is, if you haven't seen it. Well, I shouldn't say video of the week. There was probably other stuff, but that's the first thing that's coming to my brain. Okay, last set of pullovers. Going back, hands together, palms together, elbows straight, only in your comfortable range. I did post about the standing desk, and I don't remember if that was this week or last week, but I do really love the standing desk I have in my office. So there's a link for that if you wanted to see which one I have. But it just, I really do love having the option of sitting or standing for work. And again, other positions as well, but creating a space at home or wherever you work, or having an actual standing desk that goes up and down are all great things to do. And then it's very interesting to watch what happens when you try and stand at a standing desk and how wiggly you get. And again, that's where I think endurance comes in. Okay, so we are going to move the block out of the way for now. Remember, we are coming back to the block. So we're gonna make our feet wider than hip width, and we're gonna do some knee drops. So hands are out to the side, palms are up. So the knees just kind of drop down and then go to the other side. Now, if you are only good going here, then do that. If for some reason this hurts, then I would prefer you to do a knee pillow squeeze instead in neutral. Again, just a reminder, we always are looking for a substitution modification if something is painful. That just means that's not what's right for your body right now. We're going back and forth. Notice the difference between your sides if you feel, and again, we're getting two motions here. We're getting the ability to go internal and external on each side. So in essence, there's 4 different things that you could be feeling in terms of something being restricted or tight. So going in on each side and then going out on each side. And for me, my most limited motion is my right leg going inside. That's something for me that I have to work on, just based on the nature of the tilt from my little bit of scoliosis. You know, so that's part of what I understand about my body. Okay, going back to neutral. So just a reminder, with our feet, if you don't know what hip width is, we want center of the hip. Put your feet together, walk your heels out, then walk your toes out, and that is hip width. So pick up one leg, cross it over like a 4, and this knee, the top knee, moves away from you with the muscles, but this is a stability thing here. If you are a wiggle and this just flops, then you need to really come back to the center and not let this knee go as far away. So that just means you have a lot of mobility in your pelvis, and we want that to hold still. And now we're gonna add in heel raise and toe raise with our feet while we're here. So, and other people who are super tight may be up here and you're just working on the stretch. So this position is going to present very differently depending on your posture and depending on what your hips and pelvis are doing. So I want everybody to kind of get out of it what they need. And so we're rocking, chairing with the foot, where we lift our toes and lift our heel. We're gonna switch sides. So bring my foot back down. Always reset your feet Don't just be quick to bring the other one up. Make sure you're creating good alignment. So now, again, the knee that's up here is going to go away. And again, you're being mindful what's happening with your pelvis and trying to think about side to side, up and down, just levelness. And then rocking chair with the foot. Toes up, heels up. You may find that your foot kind of wants to walk away from you. If you do, you can kind of pull it back in. We're going to do this 2 times the side, so a couple more and we'll switch back to the first side that we did. Okay, reset your feet. And I really want you to, I'm switching, knee going away, rocking chair. This whole resetting your feet, whatever exercise you are doing in any class that you're in or workouts you do on your own, really be mindful of what are your feet doing, what are your knees doing, and all of that, and try and create good alignment. So no matter what exercises you're doing, you can get more balanced posture out of it by setting up good lines to begin with. And that starts with looking at how you're placing your feet and your knees and aligning things in whatever position you're in. So you want to take these habits that we create here into other things that you do. Switch legs, checking my alignment with my feet, switching sides, rocking chair with this foot. And that's something with the standing desk. I find I do wiggle, I find I put my feet wide, cross one foot. So I'm always trying to bring it back to center when I can. And just put my feet nice and even and parallel and straight and try and hold good posture for however long that I can. And I do think that is something you have to build endurance with. And again, when I'm really doing something very concentrated, I like to sit, but tasks that maybe take less focus might be done better in standing, and it might depend on the person with that. Okay, feet down. We are going into foot circles. So stretch our legs out. Let's take one knee in and let's give a nice little stretch. Here, we're gonna stretch each side first and then we're gonna go into our foot circles. So I'm pulling my right knee in underneath, giving a good stretch. I'm gonna put this leg back down. And now I'm gonna stretch the other side and really the down leg, press it into the ground. You might find your legs up off the ground. That's telling you your hips are very tight. Even me, because I've been sitting, you can see there's air, there's room for me to keep kind of fighting that tendency from sitting. But yeah, you can be much higher and you certainly can be better than my legs are, which I do feel like I have to work on at night from all the sitting. Okay, hands underneath. We're beginning foot circles. Down leg, kneecap is to the ceiling. Shin is parallel to the ground. We're going outside circles. So when we do this, we're probably doing about 20 out, 20 in, and 20 point flex. If you find that's going to be hard for you, because it can be, maybe just do 10 out, 10 in, and 10 point flex. So you can kind of be at your own pace here if you need to be. So what I meant to say about stretching at night is that I find I've been, whether it's household things that, working on or just all the different work projects, I've been sitting a lot. And so I do find when I'm watching TV at night, I'm really trying to use some of that time to stretch my body back out, do my own menus. That's what we call this when we do these exercises going in. With Egoscue, it's called a menu. And so I really do feel a lot better when I go to sleep doing that. But there's only so much time in a day. You can get the benefit of doing stuff in the morning or at night. Um, I don't, I don't fit it in morning and night every day or anything, but I do find I try to do some extra at night when watching TV. Okay, point flex. So we've gone out, in, and now we're doing point flex. Being mindful that my shin is staying parallel. Watch that down leg, that kneecap stays up to the ceiling, because the tendency for the down leg is to roll out to the side, and we're trying to create some stability on the down leg. And so a few more point flexes. Okay, let's switch sides. Okay. Shin parallel, kneecap to the ceiling. Begin your outward circles. I do have a clock today, but it would help if it was facing me. I set up the clock today. I don't have Olivia, the intern, today because we did some stuff yesterday. So we are skipping today. So we're doing outside. Really try and recruit your whole foot, your toes as much as you can. Watch that down leg, that the kneecap is towards the ceiling. Make sure your shin is parallel. Sometimes it likes to ride up or down. Now we're going inward with our circles. Definitely very normal to feel some shin burning going on with this one. I do feel like from all the time I've been doing this, I feel like my left ankle is much more coordinated, and it used to click a lot. It's definitely not. I feel like probably from a lot of stability work in my hips as well has helped that. Okay, so point flex. We are all kind of a work in progress and always trying to keep activities in our life that we love to do. Point flex, point flex. We are getting there. Kneecap is on the down leg, is pointing towards the ceiling. Okay. We are going to put the foot down. We are going to go to roll to our side. We're going to do our upper spinal floor twist. So we lie onto our side, and I'm going to lower this so you may see me a little better. Okay. So this is the one where we're going to be opening up, but you want to get your knees up close to you. You don't want to pull your feet back. You want to let them be. We're trying to create still like a 90-90. And then the hands are together. If you needed a little towel under your head, that's fine. It just depends on, for me, it's not necessity on this, so it's okay to have a neck stretch. Bottom hand blocks the knees. So the idea is we don't want our knees separating. Part of this exercise is keeping this all stable. We take one arm up in the air, and then you slowly open. It does not matter if you touch the ground. You're looking back the other way. And this is a great place to take some nice inhales. Really expand through this upper side, and then exhale it out. And I definitely can use this one because I feel like I'm a little bit tight. My arm can sometimes be a little lower to the ground, but I'm just gonna take my time here. Anytime you want to come out of this, I always want you to close back down before you roll to the other side. Again, we didn't talk about as much substitutes, but if for some reason this was bothering you, you go back to the center and you squeeze your shoulder blades together. We open up and breathing, watching your knees, check back, make sure they're not separating. The whole idea is not to go further with the arm with your knees separated. The idea is to keep your knees together and just go to the place where you can comfortably go with your knees staying together. Okay, close it back down. I'm gonna flip sides. You can roll over. So we get the other side in, knees together. We would be kind of starting here, flipping your pillow if you needed it, your towel underneath your head, hands blocking your knees, arm is up in the air, and then we slowly start to open. I have my block in the way, and breathing. And the other side was definitely my tighter side. And we're breathing nice inhales through this upper side. Couple good inhales, exhales. And then we will close it down. We are going to go onto our stomach. And I'm just gonna grab my towel. You don't need any kind of towel under your head, but if for some reason it's hard for you, you could be rolling up to give a little support under your forehead. I don't like chins on the ground. I really prefer not a turned head, but if you absolutely can't, then you could turn it, but that's not ideal. Face down is ideal. And so now we're going to reach long with one arm and one leg and hold it for 5 seconds and then switch sides. So reaching, 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 and then let go, and then reach 5 seconds and let go. It's opposite arm and opposite leg. You may have a little bit of a lift, but that's not the point of what we're doing. We're stretching more through the trunk of the body, the muscles there. We're just trying to get them balanced out as we kind of dynamically stretch them back and forth. And I'm trying to think of what else I posted and shared about this week. I did post some before and afters, like through my story, that are on my Instagram, for just the type of postural changes that we get. We're reaching long, opposite arm and opposite leg. I did post something on my story today, kind of what do people want to hear about, kind of a questioning thing. I did film a walking one that's just not posted yet. So I did film like a yoga modification. Okay, we are going to flip back over, get my glasses back on, and we're going into frog. So we're going into feet together, opening up. Again, if this hurts you, not right for you, I would come back to the center. I would do knee pillow squeezes instead. So be mindful of that if anything doesn't feel right. If your legs drop all the way to the ground, then you probably don't need it. I would go back to knee pillow squeezes. It's okay to be nice and wide, but it's different if you're dropping to the ground, and that means things are just too loose. Let's do some arms here. I just want to give you some options. If you put your arms on the ground and they can fully touch the ground with the back of your hands and your elbows, we could do some glides. If not, I would recommend going back and doing some more pullovers, hands clasped. You can't really see my hands, but they're clasped, elbows straight. And I'm going to fix the camera. And you're going to be, so glides. We don't do these very often. The reason why is many people can't do the arm glides properly because they're missing some motion in their so either you're kind of trying to, your wrists are off the ground, something like that. So people are trying to tip back, So it just tells you information about your body. As long as it doesn't hurt, you can try. But again, the idea of this one is to be fully on the ground. And that's why I say, if not, we keep working at things other ways like this. And again, if you need to close your legs up, that is okay. I am actually going to look for a second so I can make sure I get my game plan. Okay, so we're going to bring our legs back to the chair now. Have your strap, block, and put your legs up. Okay, so I have a new one, just new, not new exercise, but new in the fact that I don't think we've done it in class, so I kind of wanted to try it today. Okay, so we're going to put our straps. First, we're going to do something that we have done. We put the strap on, and we're going to do our set of just pulling out on the strap. So we're just pulling and releasing. And this is in that video about stability. This exercise is in there, but sitting in a chair, rolling your hips forward like we do with your knees nice in alignment, and then pulling out. And so doing this regularly helps kind of wake up the hip stabilizing muscles. And also it does help when we do it in certain positions and our pelvis is properly aligned. Because sometimes we do exercises that are for the abductors in the gym, and we're strengthening, but we sometimes can compensate and turn the legs out and different things like that. So we're still squeezing. You could take a pause if you need to. You might have noticed that one side's firing more than the other. And, you know, I always like to say maybe back off a little and try and get them to work together. Okay. So the next one we're going to do, it's for the front of the hips, and I'm going to give you some options here. So you really have to be mindful, respect your body. So we're going to slide our legs here, and then we go up. So we've got our strap on our legs as long as that feels okay. If for some reason it doesn't, you could switch to your yoga block or pillow. So we're pulling out and we're raising. Now, for somebody who's tight or has, if you have any sciatica type symptoms, don't straighten your legs very much. I think you'll be more comfortable. So you can go pull this way, just lift a little, and then put back. Pull, lift. So you're kind of straightening the shins a little bit. And then, but we're getting some of this work through this lower section right here. So again, if you're feeling really good, don't have sciatic stuff, you are more flexible, you can go more of me. Change our angle so you can really see this. And maybe if I slide away, that might help too. Nothing like giving my legs a little mermaid activity with the strap on. Okay, so pulling. So this is the more full version of this. But I really, again, so important, pick the level that's right for your body. Then you're going to get what you need out of this. Just, again, small bringing forward and just lifting if you have any concerns about having your legs straight like that and pulling on your back. So you pick and choose, take a break when you need to. So I wanted to do some of these, then we're going to switch to our knee pillow squeezes, and then we'll do some more with that. Okay, so we're going to take this off, and we're going to switch to our knees. And again, I am seeing so many clients, and everybody seems to need some work in the front of their hips. So this is so valuable. Okay, so now we've got our pillows and we're squeezing. And not that you have to love this exercise that we're doing, but we've used some of the same exercises that kind of wake up that area. And so I wanted to kind of bring in some different ones. And so that's why we're getting to try this today to see how you guys feel with it. I happen to like it. So it just depends. Okay, so we're getting a few more squeezes in, getting things working. Again, some stabilizing in the hips. This kind of reminds our adductors, our inner thighs, their job is to stabilize, which is like turn, fire, stop, fire, stop. Kind of like as we move, they respond. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing. So you're holding the block and you're gonna, for some of you, it's just that dragging in a little bit and lifting and bringing it back. Bringing in, lifting, and back. And then for those of you feeling better about your hamstring length, no sciatic type pain, no butt pain, you can go on into this. And again, you're really just picking the level that works for you. And if you are going straight, you can be tightening the thighs, pulling the feet down. Again, but you are being very mindful to choose what is right for you. And then after this, we're going to be rolling over and going to cats and dogs on our hands and knees. Taking the block out, I'm also going to make it so I can see my nice clock that I set up so that I could keep track of the time. Okay, and of course, as usual, I always feel like I'm losing my drawers. Fix those. Okay, hands and knees, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, and we sink our belly down. Again, this is driven with the pelvis first. Drop that belly down, draw your shoulder blades together, head goes up. Then you round right from the pelvis, and then everything goes like a C. Dropping the belly down, really draw the shoulder blades together. That piece is so important. I really want you to take your time on this because as you drop down, if you miss the shoulder blade squeeze, that's one of the most important parts of this. Unless you're somebody who's super arched, you do need to focus on some of this rounding, bending, and but the shoulder blade portion is definitely a very valuable part of this. And again, this is things that I look at. You can see in my back where I round more in one space than others, and that's all stuff about maximizing and getting the spine to all move well. All things to work on with our body. Okay. And from here, we are going to be sitting with our back against the wall. You could be, Louise, I know you're using a table. If your table is pushed against a wall, this can still work for you. If not, I'm going to give a modification. And I didn't say that you could have been doing, I hope you know, sitting cats and dogs instead of kneeling if that is better for you. So I always like to give modifications if you have shoulder pain or knee pain or wrist pain. Okay, so we're sitting with our back against the wall. Here's the modification here. If you have super tight hamstrings, you can take your yoga mat or a towel or blanket or pillow if you had one, and you could sit and raise yourself up. And we're sitting here. And an alternate might be is you're just gonna sit in the chair. I'm gonna take my, I think I'm good without that. Sitting in the chair, and you can sit nice and aligned, roll your hips forward, and you can work on some shoulder blade squeezes there. and then some knee pillow squeezes. Those are some alternates to sitting here. Here we're sitting, we're tightening our thighs, we're pulling our feet back nice and even, and then we're engaging our shoulder blades back. And the key here is bring your palms face up and away from the wall, because if not, then your elbows are kind of thrusting in the wall, and that's changing the posture that we want. It doesn't matter if your head touches the wall. We call this like a kinetic chain exercise. It's like everything is working here. So, and when I say about the feet is some people will want to pull their toes more forward. So this is your chance to kind of connect the whole foot in neutral. Same thing up through the knees, into the upper back. Shoulder blades are working. Pelvis is kind of rolled forward if you can. And that's where you want to be raised up. If you feel like you're tucking under, then you want to be raised up on something. But this really can help things that are happening when your feet and your knees are pointing in different directions. This is helping connect those muscles. We're putting everything nice and even, activating, tightening, and obviously getting some stretch. So I do love this. Again, it's hard to motivate yourself to sit and do this by yourself for many minutes, but we're all together here, and it's just really beneficial. So we're gonna do it. And I don't know, it's Valentine's today. Hopefully everyone's gonna have a nice, pleasant day. And I do feel like we're enjoying the rest of our Florida winter weather, just our mild winter. It's going kind of fast. And I did get some really nice homegrown veggies. This week, one of my friend's fathers grows a garden in his backyard, and she called to say they had lots ready. So I had so many greens, and I've had some nice salads and whatnot, but I have sauteed some of them so I could freeze them so that when I need a side that's like a nice green with some sauteed onions and greens, so they're kales and chard and some bok choy. I made some lentil soup too, like with the with the bok choy in it. So just was a kind of a storing up with the greens kind of thing. Okay, we did a good job with that one. We are now going to go to standing. Okay. I am feeling more awake. I don't know about anybody else. I was feeling pretty sleepy when we started, but I am feeling better. Okay. Let's do some arm circles. This is another put it together, sorry, camera. Okay. Chopping off the head today. I will fix that. Feet parallel and hip width. Golfers gripping on the hands, bending at the first knuckle, thumbs pointed out. I don't know what's going on with me in the camera today. We're doing arm circles going forward. I will figure it out. And you are doing arm circles. You are making sure your hips are not veiling forward. Okay, at least we have a head now. And so when I say that you keep arm circling it, okay, we're being mindful. Let's take a moment of awareness of what's happening while we're standing. Okay, arms down for a second. We'll go to the backwards in a second. This is such a trend that I see in the clinic. So many people, hips are going here, or they are kind of forward like this. So really be mindful. It's not about having your weight just through the heels. It's more the center of your feet. But connect with your body and see where it wants to go and see if you can create some awareness with that. Bend first knuckle. We're going to flip the palms, arms up, checking my feet, thighs are tight, and now we are going backwards with our circles. I'm just going to step forward. You know what it is? I think maybe my blocks that I usually put the computer on is a little bit too forward, and that might be why I'm having a little trouble chopping my head off today. So normally is not happening. Okay, arms down. We are going to go to running man. Okay, we're going to go right to here. And this is the one where it's the abdominal exercise. So our feet are parallel. One is behind. And if you're losing your balance, you can turn your foot down. You can also be next to a wall so you feel like, or a chair, so you feel safe with your balancing. So we're off and we're running and we're going. The whole camera thing is really just not working for me. Okay, much better. Okay, we are running. Sorry about the camera movement. Okay. If we weren't awake before, hopefully we will be awake after this one. And you could even do this in sitting if for some reason this whole balancing thing wasn't for you. Switch sides, foot is behind, and we are off to the races again. Again, think about this like cheek to cheek. My balance is a little struggly today. I need to ground through my feet more. If you're having troubles like that, really press your feet into the ground. That is what I was lacking. I've got it now. I'm taking my front foot, really pressing it into the ground, the back toes, because that's what's on the ground, and that creates my stability. Okay, so, and this is what I was talking about with base of support. Some people will stand like this, and some people will stand there. They're kind of wide, where this is really neutral and balanced with the muscles. So if you find that you're doing either one of those, then that's just a sign that you need some more hip work. Okay, we're gonna do hamstring curls. I don't think we've done these in a while. So we're on the wall. I'm gonna, again, I like to demo this way so you know what's happening. We put our foot behind like this and we bend like that. We wanna be mindful that this leg is not kicking out to the side. So the down leg is nice and stable, and then you'll be bending your knee. I'm gonna do it in about sets of 10 back and forth. If you wanna lessen that to 5, you can. Just listen to your body. Again, my leg is kind of behind me where my toes are touching the ground. And that's where the foot rests back to. Make sure you're relaxed in your upper shoulders. Hands are just, you can have your whole hand on the wall or your fingertips, but it's just to keep you even and balanced. Okay, I'm switching sides. I'm putting the other foot, I'm making sure my down leg is not kicking out to the side, that it's nice and stable. Bending. Watching what my hip is doing, relaxing my upper shoulders. Okay, we're going back, doing the other side. You might feel some tightness in the front of your thigh. Okay, I'm going to my other side, and that's, we are kind of stretching the front, even though we're kind of working in the back. And this sometimes helps with people who are hyperextending. This kind of wakes up the muscles that help control that motion. Okay, we're switching sides. Making sure my leg is not, the down leg's not kicking out to the side. Relax my upper shoulders. Okay, we did 2 sets. Perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna do another stretch. I want to give you modifications. So we haven't done this much where we walk our hands down the wall. So again, it's gonna kind of look like that. Now, if you find that this is not good for your back, any kind of sciatic back pain, then you can do instead just more of an overhead with your hands, clasping your hands and going up, and then you're not putting the lean in. It is a supported lean because you're putting your hands on the wall. And as you do this, you want to try and roll your hips forward in this motion and tighten your thighs. And the idea is you really want to have your hip directly over your knee and ankle. So either you're standing up and reaching overhead, or you're leaning onto the wall. My hands are fully flat on the wall. Relax your upper shoulders, tighten your thighs, roll your hips forward if you can. You can drop your head a little bit, or you can hold it kind of in neutral. Figure out what's comfortable for you. Getting some work through our upper back and our legs. Again, this is another kind of kinetic chain, kind of working through the whole body. We're breathing. Okay, coming up, and we are going to, I have to see my sign. Okay, toe raises. We're gonna do toe raises, and that's the one where we go like this. So again, gonna review. You're holding onto the wall. Feet are going to be parallel, and we're going to raise. Then they're gonna turn out like this, and we're gonna raise, and then toes in. Toes actually touch. When you go heels, feet out, they do not, the heels do not touch. The whole idea is you're trying to propel your body upward, not kind of lean in. And the other thing is this is working through our hips. So it's important to rotate through the different positions. And if you find doing about 10 of each is too much, then you can rotate after every 5. You can rotate your position. And again, my chin is level to the ground. I'm trying to think about my my head going up towards the ceiling. I just have a light touch on the wall to help with balance. Okay, that should be somewhere about 10. I'm gonna turn my feet out, not too wide. And again, my heels are not touching. I'm going up and down, thinking about like a fence post in the ground, just if it was being hammered into the ground, just kind of up and down. Okay, I'm going to toes touching, tighten my thighs and go upward. Head towards the ceiling, relax your upper shoulders. This is one of those ones that could be a good reset during your day. I do feel that we do so many exercises here that you guys see some of the same ones that you can pick and choose and throw some in your day to kind of reset your body. Okay, we're gonna go cycle through it again. You could be at possibly your own pace. I'm going back to neutral, but go with the pace that's working for you. We will do meditation today. We're getting pretty close to that time. We love our quiet moment. Turning the feet out. And raising up to the ceiling, chin is level to the ground. And then toes touching, my last round of these. Toes are touching and heels are out, sort of pigeon-toed here. Definitely a little tiring on the calves. That one sometimes even is a third set. Okay, we're gonna go down, get into position for meditation. So we're gonna get back in, and if for some reason you don't wanna go back to the ground, you could do a sitting meditation. You can lie on your back flat, or you can put your legs up on a block. Let's see, let's get our getting our music on. You're lying down, legs are up, and you are going to take a nice deep inhale. Okay, so you're back to either you're lying flat, sitting in a chair, or here your arms are out to the side, palms up, little towel if you need it. Nice big inhale, exhale it out, eyes are closed. So I want you to, again, take a moment and just be thankful for everything your body can do in today's class, and, show your own body some love and gratitude. It's so important to be thankful that we can walk, see, hear, taste, smell, breathe. So many amazing things our bodies do. And then I want you to just let your arms sink into the ground. Let your legs just settle in and kind of relax out. Eyelids kind of relax and soften. Tongue on the roof, teeth slightly open. Relax your jaw. And you're just going to let the thoughts pass by and take a few moments of quiet. take a nice deep inhale. Kind of connect back in. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingers. Take your time, and you'll go through the side, and then you'll push yourself back to seating. And calm.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, I was a little late.
That's okay.
Thank you.
I saw you in time. You know, it's like I have to catch that admit moment.
I know.
Yeah. So if I ever don't answer quickly, you know, you can always send a text that alert.
Yeah, I was being very patient because I knew I was late. I didn't want to bug you.
Right. But it's funny. It's like until I look at that thing and see the blue thing.
I know.
Admit someone.
Yes.
Okay, so everyone do okay? Any questions?
Yes, fabulous. Thank you.
Okay.
Wonderful, wonderful.
That was great, Randy. Thank you.
Good. Did you guys were you guys okay with the hip one? Was that okay with the block?
I loved it.
Okay.
I need a